Alabama, Tennessee is a good one. They're both have one loss in the season. Massive game for college football playoff hopes, SEC title hopes, everything here. Alabama's an 8.5-point favorite. Under has taken money down to 48.5. When I look at this game, break it down on the surface, Tennessee's rushing attack has been excellent. They basically changed their entire offense. They have a three-headed monster in the backfield. The passing efficiency is just not there with Joe Milton. Even with teams having to bring more guys in the box, he can't hit anything downfield. Even last week against Texas A&M, questionable secondary, wasn't hitting anything downfield. The accuracy just isn't there. And I don't think you can make a living just running on Alabama. And when you go to the other side of the ball, the Tennessee defense might be legit. They've been really good. They're getting a ton of pressure. They've been great against the run. And their secondary numbers are also pretty good. A lot of that's predicated on pressure. And you can get pressure on Alabama. And Miller's going to take his stacks. Miller's a tough cookie to crack because he's taking a ton of sacks. Alabama's taking too many tackles for loss. And he's not an efficient passer when it comes to the short to intermediate routes. He can't really read defenses that well when he's forced to drop back and go through his progressions. But he has an elite deep ball. I mean, elite. And he's going to hit a couple a game. And that just throws a wrench into everyone's plans. And especially because you don't respect their passing attack overall. And you're going to have these stretches where Milroe looks awful, right? And there's a bunch of 3-and-outs. And you're bringing the guys in the box and you're trying to slow down their rushing attack. And you're paying attention to Milroe as a rushing threat. What does that lead to? A lot of single coverage. And then you're going to hit, all of a sudden there'll be a 70-yard completion that breaks the game open. And he throws a beautiful, accurate deep ball, one of the best in college football, one of the best for any Alabama quarterback over the past 30 years. So how many does he hit this game? I think that's basically what it boils down to. I don't see either team really having success sustaining drives consistently. So I think you'll see a lot of punts. And I think the difference in this game is going to be Alabama hits a couple of those deep shots. And that's the difference at home. And Milton has showed that he can't. So I'm assuming Alabama is going to commit to the run, right? You could get Malachi Moore back here too in the secondary. So they're going to have guys playing man on the outside. And there's going to be opportunities for Milton to potentially hit an explosive play that can break open the game downfield. But what do the numbers say? Milton will not be able to do it, and Milroe will. And I think that's ultimately the difference. I like the under. I'm just afraid of when does the explosion happen? So maybe a first half under is a look. Maybe because I do think Bama's going to go run heavy to start, lean on their D, and then take the shots when they come. What do you see here?
I would be more comfortable with a first half under than a full game, especially being a revenge spot with Saban getting more crusty and pissed as the day goes by. The days go by.
That's a good point. Remember, Alabama's had this game circled.
Yeah, Alabama's probably been waiting on this one. And you know what? I'll echo what's going on with Joe Milton. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've been talking about this since March Madness was going on earlier this year. I mean, Joe Milton is not the quarterback for this offense. He has all the arm strength in the world, but his efficiency takes a drop and passes over 20 yards. He's hit 8 of 25, adjusted completion percentage of 36% on passes over 20 yards. That is horrific. It's not SEC level. It's not any level. And I don't know how Joe Milton's going to grade out for the NFL draft or whatever team he's going to end up on. It just feels so Will Levis-ish. It's seems that way. But I mean, the best offense of Tennessee comes from Jalen Wright running the ball. He is a legit load to try to tackle. 23 missed tackles, 13 explosive runs. This is the new identity of the wide splits spread offense that Josh Heupel is running, is Jalen Wright running the ball. So, but Tennessee has been terrible in scoring opportunities. They are 84th in finishing drives. Just over half of their 29 red zone attempts on offense have ended in a touchdown. That's not a good TD rate when you're down, 20 yards from the end zone. So I don't know if if they can contribute into what I think might turn into an over, because Saban is going to want to score some points here at the end. But when I go to the other side of the ball, that Tennessee pass rush got Saban's attention. In his presser this week, he gave a whole hell yeah when he was asked about, do you think it's going to be a problem? The progression of this offense since the week 2 loss to Texas and Jalen Milroe being benched in a typhoon down at South Florida, Tommy Rees has changed this offense a little bit. Jalen Milroe is not a 5-step drop, read your progressions guy. He is a hot read or take off. That is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Milroe needs to be running the Jalen Hurts offense, and Tommy Rees is slowly getting there because this is not Ian Book. So if you get Jalen Hurts into a hot read or take off mode, how much is this Tennessee pass rush going to be a factor? Now, I go into some of the numbers that, Jalen Milroe's had to see with pressures. Alabama's 127th in pressures allowed. It's going to happen. This is no mystery. Tennessee is going to be all over this offensive line. They're going to be all over Jalen Milroe. What is Alabama going to do about it? Are they going to move the pocket around? Are they going to pull some linemen? Are they going to keep a guy in the box to add to blocking? Or are they just going to tell Jalen Milroe, snap it and take off? There's a ton of ways to get around this pass rush. Now, remember, I keep going back to what Sark said. You can stop Jalen Milroe if you maintain your pass rush integrity. If Tennessee just lines up and runs 8 yards down the field on their pass rush, Jalen Milroe is going to be gone. So it's a delicate thing trying to give him a pass rush. Milroe has I love this stat. Couldn't even believe I read it this week. Milroe has the 3rd highest pressure to sack ratio in the nation. Not surprised, right? Like the Old Dominion kid. There's another one out there that are above him. But looking at pressure and avoiding
sacks. He's been sacked like 4 or 5 times for a month for like 4 or 5 straight games.
Jalen Milroe has the 2nd highest NFL grade of any quarterback in college football in a pressured pocket. He's that good in a pressured pocket. And I think that's going to be a real problem here. Yeah, you're going to be able to pressure him. Yeah, you're going to get some sacks, but you're also getting the 2nd highest graded quarterback in pressured pockets. So without Tennessee being able to throw for any distance with Milton, his ADOT is now like 10.2. His career average was 16 yards. It's now 10.2. Jalen Wright is your only means of moving this offense for Tennessee. Give me Alabama to cover. Give me an Alabama second half bet. Give me a second half over. I see this going from 1 possession game into Saban going into revenge mode in the second half. And I got Alabama covering.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a little first half under.
I like that.
Because I think, this is with the spot, Alabama's had this circled. Where you see that the most is usually with the defense, right? The defense comes out with just their hair on fire, right? And you see just them flying around. So I think the Alabama defense is going to be excellent early on, especially. And then I think Alabama, with concerns about that pass rush, I think they're going to lean very heavily on the ground early on in the game. And what does that mean? That means there's going to be a speeding clock. So I don't think Tennessee's offense is going to do much in the first half. I don't think Alabama's going to have long methodical drives. There's going to be some 3 and outs. And then that's going to set up eventually some shot plays. And then that's where the explosives can come in, whether it's, in the second quarter, in the third quarter, late. And then once that happens and Alabama extends, then Joe Milton, Tennessee's going to have to play even faster. Joe Milton's going to have to start throwing it. You could get some turnovers. I'm going to go with the first half under.
Are we going to
blow up?
Are we going to buy an Alabama national championship future if he starts to look like Jalen Hurts more and more and more? Mind this week. The path is there. This LSU defense is horrid, right? Everybody's got a differing opinion about what Brock Bowers means to Georgia. Should we tell the listeners, is now the time, if you wanted to buy an Alabama future, because things were bleak after South Florida, is this last call for a good number?
Yeah, I want to dig into. You might have a better odds of the money line rollover, which we'll look at that next week, because you'd have to win you'd have to win the SEC championship game, 2 playoff games, LSU. So right there, you're close to 12-1 or something, which might be a better path. I do still have some concerns about the LSU game, because how you attack LSU is through the air, and Milroe can hit the explosives, but he can't consistently drop back and just pick apart a defense.
Yeah.
So and LSU's offense is excellent. So I don't know if like the Alabama offense is just going to be able to score at will by passing, like, you know, you saw Ole Miss and any other competent passing attack. So it might be, in a weird way, a decent matchup for the LSU defense.